This mic is dry. Please. It's like, what's happening? Okay. Welcome back, you little goober, to another episode of Adam Answers. If you ever want to ask me a question, I'm on Small Street Bets every Thursday, basically all day long, answering questions, so you can ask one there if you'd like. This one comes from Stealth Hunter 88. He asks, if I buy a call and it becomes in the money, how fast can I sell it and gain a profit? Is it as instantaneous as pressing a button, or does someone out in the void have to buy it from me? These two things aren't mutually exclusive. If the option is liquid enough, you could get out of the trade instantaneously, but there always has to be someone out there in the void willing to buy this option from you, to be on the other end of your closing trade. So we're gonna go into more detail on that, and then we'll also talk about how you can tell ahead of time how quickly you're gonna be able to get in and out of a trade. So let's get real. A lot of you guys use Robinhood. It's made for infants, so it's easy to use, and it's also pretty. Whoops. I use Robinhood too sometimes, so I got my baby hands can't hold this pin up. So if you don't use Robinhood, don't worry, it's going to still apply to your brokerage. But if you do use Robinhood, to get to a screen like this, you're going to tap on an option, and you're going to see two prices to the left, and they're going to look like kind of like they're hyperlinked. You're going to tap on them and it'll bring up a page just like this. So we're going to look at a few things on this page. The first thing we're going to be looking at, the first couple things, are the bid and the ask. So let's just go ahead and dive into that really quick. So this bid price right here, the $2.24, that's where all the buyers are stacked up at. That is the price people are paying to buy this option. And you can see how many orders there are to buy this option because the number is very conveniently located to its right. So there are people, and there are 58 people, or at least 58 limit orders, for $2.24 to buy this call option. So bid is where the buyers are at, all right? And that price is $2.24. Sorry, my handwriting is terrible. And there are 58 people, or 58 limit orders for that option. Now over here on the right, we see the ask price, which is the price where all the sellers are located. And you can see that is $2.27. And very intuitively, it is higher than the bid price. Sellers want to sell for a higher price, or the highest price they can. So it makes sense that the sellers are located at a higher price than where the buyers are located, because the buyers want to buy at a cheaper price. And you can see there are 12 limit orders at that price of $2.27. So we'll say ask. That actually looks like a 3-year-old drew that. I'm redoing that. Wow, not much better. Whatever. Ask price of $2.27. Now let's think about this. If we want to get into this trade, are we going to buy where the buyers are at? Not really, because most sellers don't want to sell that cheap, even though that's where the buyers are located. When you want to get into this trade immediately, you have to buy at the ask price. So if you want to buy this option right off the bat, instantaneously, you have to buy this option for $227. Now, if you decide you don't want to be in this trade anymore, like you have some Tesla options and you just saw Elon hit the reefer and you want to get out ASAP, you're going to have to sell at the bid price, the lower price, where all the buyers are stacked up at. And now this is universal throughout all of trading. Shares, options, futures, whatever, the bid-ask spread is always going to be there, and you have to always buy at the ask to get in immediately, and you have to sell at the bid to get out of the trade immediately. Now you can set an order somewhere in the middle. So if you set an order right in the middle for $2.26 to buy this call option that we're looking at here, you have to hope that a seller is willing to go down and meet you at $2.26. So instead of selling at $2.27, they feel bad for you. They're like, yeah, you look like you're in a pretty tough spot. Let me help you out. They go down $1. They give up $1 and sell it for a cheaper price of $2.26. So you can set an order somewhere in the middle, but the problem is it might take a little bit longer. So if you want to get in and out like lightning fast, you have to buy at the ask, sell at the bid. Now the difference between these two, which is 3 cents in premium, this is the bid ask spread. So regardless of how things are divvied up, if someone meets you in the middle, or maybe you buy at the ask and sell at the bid, regardless of what happens, that money that is given up by either the buyer or the seller goes to the exchange as compensation for meeting the buyer and seller together. Okay, now over here, if we look at volume, this is the number of contracts traded that day when I took the screenshot. So 1,455 contracts exchanged hands that day. Well, there's that kind of volume, which is pretty high volume. It's going to push the bid-ask spread closer together to be kind of tight. So this bid-ask spread is pretty tight. It's only 3 cents wide. You only give up $3 to get in and out immediately. And that's because the exchange isn't requiring so much of compensation for meeting these buyers and sellers together because there's so many of them. They're making money through volume. So if this volume is low, you're going to see that the bid-ask spread gets wider because the exchange requires higher compensation for meeting these buyers and sellers together. So for example, if we have a volume right here and we'll say it's 500, you might see a bid ask of something like $2 to $3. So you'd see a bid ask spread of $1 wide, and that means you'd have to buy at $3 and sell at $2 to get in and out immediately, and you'd be giving up the difference between that two to get in and out immediately, which would be a total of $1. And I think I'm probably drawing where my head is, which is going to be kind of annoying. So this is why it's so important that you're trading options with high volume. Because the higher the volume is, the tighter the bid ask is going to be, the easier it's going to be to get in and out of a trade. Now, you can set a limit order somewhere in the middle here, but it's unlikely to get filled. You have to go, if you're buying, you have to push a little closer to the ask or a little closer to the bid. And the wider that bid ask spread is, the more money you're going to give up to get in and out of a trade. So when the bid ask is nice and tight, like with SPY, S&P 500 ETF, where the options are very popular and the bid asks are very tight because there's so much volume, then it's so easy to get in and out of the trade because there's only a 1 cent difference between the bid and the ask. So you're only giving up $1 to get in and out immediately. You don't want to have to be worrying about, in a losing position, especially worrying about, how am I going to get out of this trade? Do I have to give up another $25 to get out of this trade? Tough. You don't want to have to buy at an expensive price and sell at a cheap price. Just sucks. Make sure the volume's high and the bid ask is tight. One more thing. The price that Robinhood displays is not going to be, or any brokerage, it's not going to be the bid or the ask. It's going to be the mark price, which is right in the middle or somewhere in the middle of the bid and the ask price, which can be kind of problematic because it could show that you made a gain or a loss when really nothing's happened to the stock, only something happened to the volume. So for what I mean by that is you might have a bid ask spread of 2 to 250, and the mark price is going to be right in the middle of that, which would be $2.25. So that's what Robinhood would display as the price of the option on their platform. Now, just because the volume decreases here, as an example, not because of any change in the stock price or anything, that bid-ask spread might get wider. So it might be 150 to 250, and now the middle of the bid-ask spread is going to be $2. So all of a sudden, it's going to show that the price of your option decreased by a value of 25 cents. In other words, it's going to show that you have a loss of $25 when really nothing happened to the stock price. The bid ask just got wider because of a drop in volume. Now, this could be very much a realistic $25 loss because you have to sell at a cheaper price to get out immediately. But with those wide bid asks and low volume, they're going to be jumping around a lot. It's going to be showing all of a sudden really big gains, all of a sudden really big losses that aren't necessarily real or caused by any of the Greeks or any changes in the stock price or valid changes in the options premium due to delta, gamma, theta, or vega. So if you have an option as a wide bid ask, you might see that you suddenly may gain or loss, and it might not necessarily be super realistic. It might just be because of a sudden decrease in volume, which could happen at random parts of the day, like right at open or towards the closing bell. There could be a sudden decrease in volume or increase in volume. So things could the bid ask shifts around. It expands and contracts based on how many people are trading that option. Thanks for watching. Hope to see you guys on Small Street Bets on every Thursday. I'm answering questions basically all day long. Come ask a question. I'm begging you. Don't make me bored. All right.